Hey, how's it going everybody? My name is Aaron J. Holt, back at it again with another React video. Now, as you guys know, I am a huge fan of the Alien franchise and of the Predator franchise. However, I've only reacted to Predator stuff so far. I've reacted to no Alien stuff, and so I wanted to change that. So I am subscribed to the YouTube channel Movie Recaps, and they recently uploaded a recap of the first Alien movie. It's titled, Astronaut Lands on Unknown Planet Only to Get Alien Creatures Stuck on His Face. I love these creative titles because they don't tell in the title what the movie is. They just come up with this, like, you know, one sentence summary of the movie, and you have to guess what it is. But I like it. It was uploaded 1 week ago and has 73,000 views as of this video, you guys. Wow. So I like the Alien franchise. I'm not a big fan of like Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I am a fan of the Alien versus Predator series, the two movies. And I thought it was a decent attempt to bridge the two. They could have done a lot better, but I still enjoyed it. But anyway, let's check out this React video, guys. I've never done a reaction to a movie recap before, or any movie recap. All right, full screen. Let's check this out. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, action.
In 2122,
Really?
The commercial spaceship Nostromo is carrying 20 million tons of mineral ore back to Earth. The crew consists of 7 people and a cat, who are kept in sleeping pods. However, midway through the journey, the ship's computer known as Mother wakes the crew up. Captain Dallas immediately goes to the computer room to ask Mother what's the issue while the rest of the crew checks on the ship. Navigator Lambert is shocked because she can't find Earth on the screen and she realizes they aren't in the solar system. Eventually she finds Earth on a map and notices they're much farther away than they imagined. Warrant Officer Ripley uses the comms to get in contact with traffic control, but nobody answers. Moments later Dallas gathers the crew and explains Mother interrupted their sleep because she intercepted a transmission of unknown origin, so she wants them to check it out. The transmission appears to be an acoustic sound that repeats at intervals of 12 seconds, but they don't know if it's an SOS or human. The crew gets annoyed because they're a cargo ship, not a rescue one, and they want to go home. However, Dallas reminds them that if they don't follow the transmission they won't get paid. The Nostromo follows the signal to an unknown planet, but when it gets close enough it starts
it's more of a
experiencing
planetoid
turbulence and the
than
crew
anything.
hears strange noises outside. They manage to land the ship, but as soon as it touches the ground, a huge explosion happens that sends out some electricity and causes the ship to malfunction. The crew rushes to put out some fires and check the damage to the system, discovering that they have a hull breach.
Yeah.
As the lights go on and off, Chief
Christmas
Engineer
lights.
Parker and engineering technician Brett try their
Oh, I've
best
never
to fix
noticed
the
that
damage.
thing in the back,
Explains
that
they'll need
little
to do a lot of
mobile.
rerouting of the system in order to get
I
the
never
ship
noticed
up
that
and
before.
running again, which will take at least 25
What is that,
hours.
playing cards?
Dallas is frustrated because
Nice.
most of the channels on the ship are dead. The planet's environment is windy and hostile, and Science Officer Ash tells Dallas that Mother predicts a sunrise in 20 minutes. Executive Officer Kane volunteers to go look for the transmission, and Dallas and Lambert agree to go with him. After suiting up, the trio goes out and do their best to walk in the windy and dark planet while Ripley keeps on trying to find the signal on the ship's system to no avail. As the trio explores, they come across a massive spacecraft that seems to be abandoned. Lambert is wary and thinks they should go back, but the guys ignore her and keep going.
Oh,
The
jeez.
closer they get to the mysterious ship, the more static appears on their comms and the crew can't hear them on the comms. The group enters the strange ship and finds a fossilized alien on a chair.
Yeah.
Dallas notices that the bones have grown outward from the body, as if the being exploded from inside. In another chamber, Kane finds a large hole in the floor. On the Nostromo,
That's melted
Ripley
through.
informs Ash that Mother has decoded the transmission, which is a warning and not an SOS. Back to the trio, Kane goes down the hole and finds some sort of cave with strange leathery objects that appear to be eggs. When
Oh,
Kane
man.
touches the mist that covers them, a high-pitched humming sound can be heard. Suddenly Kane falls down, but he quickly recovers and touches an egg, which
Oh,
appears to
man.
shriek as something moves inside. At that moment the top of the egg opens like a flower as it growls, so Kane peeks inside to take a better look at the alien, only for the creature to burst out and attach itself to his helmet, causing him
Jeez.
to fall. Soon Lambert and Dallas bring an unconscious Kane back to the Nostromo, but when Ripley sees the creature she refuses to open the door because of a possible infection. An argument
Yeah.
ensues, only to end with Ash opening the door while ignoring Ripley's protests. Kane is taken to the infirmary with the alien, and after
Jeez.
scanning the body, the crew removes the helmet. It turns out the
That's-
alien
that
has
was
gone
thick
through
glass.
the helmet and wrapped his
Jeez.
limbs around Kane's head, but he's still breathing. Ash tries to remove an alien limb with surgical tongs, but the limb only tightens.
Ooh.
Then they put Kane in a pod to take an X-ray, discovering that the alien has inserted a limb into Kane's throat that feeds
I have to
off.
remember to tell you something
It seems the creature
at
has
the end of this
paralyzed him
video.
and put him in a coma.
But yeah.
Next, Dallas and Ash decide to just cut the creature off to remove it.
Because, yeah, the face hugger
As soon
reminds
as they
me of
make a
something
tiny
that I
incision,
saw.
a disgusting fluid pours out
Ooh,
and quickly
acid
begins
for
burning
blood.
through the floor. The crew immediately goes down floor by floor, watching how the fluid leaks through
Ooh.
the different ceilings until it finally stops. Dallas uses a pen to gather some of the acid and concludes the alien uses it as a defense mechanism, so they can't kill it. Afterward, Brett and Parker continue to work on repairs and Kane runs some tests, discovering that
Kane?
the alien replaces its cells rapidly
No, it's
to protect
Ash.
itself from adverse environmental conditions. Ripley
science
scolds him
officer
again
is
for
Ash.
allowing the alien to enter the ship, but Ash just tells her
Yeah.
to let him do his job. Later, Dallas, Ash, and Ripley go to the infirmary and discover Kane's face is exposed. Worried, the group starts looking for the alien, which falls down onto Ripley from above. She screams as she
Jeez.
pushes the alien off her, making it fall on its back. Ash prods the alien and makes it move, but he's sure it's just a reflex and it's dead. Then they examine the creature more closely,
Jeez.
noticing it open from its insides. Ripley wants to get rid of it, but Ash says this is the first species of its kind they've encountered, so it should be taken to Earth for further study. Dallas lets Ash keep the alien, which leaves Ripley frustrated. In private, Ripley tells Dallas that she doesn't trust Ash. When the repairs are done,
Christmas
the Nostromo
lights.
finally leaves the planet and starts heading toward Earth. The crew starts discussing the possibility of freezing Kane to prevent spreading a potential disease.
Yeah, that's
but
a good
they're
idea.
interrupted by Ash telling them that Kane's condition has changed. The crew goes to the infirmary and are happy to see Kane is up and well. He doesn't remember much about the planet, only a horrifying dream about smothering. The crew has dinner together. Kane is famished and eats a lot, but suddenly he begins to choke and becomes extremely ill. He falls on his back on the table as he has a seizure, so
Yeah.
the crew tries to hold his body. At that moment, Kane's chest bursts open and an alien pops out. covered in
Chest
human blood.
burster.
The creature looks around and Parker grabs a knife, but Ash tells him not to touch it. Then the alien shrieks and quickly runs out of the room. The crew tries to search for it, but they can't find it. Afterward, the crew wraps Kane's body up and ejects him into space.
Surprised
Now
that they
can do a
don't,
deeper
you know,
search through the
ask
ship.
Ash, why did you
Brett
say
gets a
don't
sparking
touch
rod
it,
and
you
Ash
know?
announces he set a tracking
You protecting
device
it?
that will locate a
Hmm?
moving object on the ship by
Although
detecting slight
it has
changes in air
acid for
density.
blood, so it's like,
Dallas
yeah, if you
splits the crew
stab
up
it,
into
it
two
might
teams.
squirt acid
He'll go
for
with
blood
Ash and Lambert while
on
Ripley
you.
goes with Parker and Brett. He tells them to put the alien in the air duct once they find it, and to communicate with the crew at all times. Ripley's team walks down a very dark hallway on the lower deck. The lights are supposed to be fixed, so a circuit must have broken again and the team stops to fix it. Now with proper light, the team continues their search and enters a room that's also dark. The tracker seems to be picking something up, and the group screams when something
Jones!
jumps out, but it turns out to be Jones the cat, who quickly runs to another room. Not wanting the tracker to sense
Jonesy.
the cat again, Brett goes after Jones,
Jonesy.
meowing to get his attention. Hearing Jones meow
Jonesy.
back, Brett follows the noise, only for Jones to hide again. At that moment, Brett discovers a strange scaly skin on the ground and picks it up, but he's too disgusted and drops it again. Then he follows Jones into another room where a strange ominous sound can be heard. He finds the cat in a corner,
Oh,
who
jeez.
soon begins to hiss. Brett thinks Jones is hissing at him, but actually he's seen the huge alien who has descended behind Brett. When Jones
Hello.
growls and moves away, Brett turns around and finally sees the alien, who shoots a second mouth out to bite Brett in the head and pull him towards the ceiling while Jones watches from the shadows. Minutes later, Parker and Ripley inform Dallas that Brett was pulled into one of the air shafts by the creature. Dallas considers luring the creature into the airlock and sending him into space, while Ash points out that the creature seems to have acclimated to their air, but they don't know about temperature yet. Dallas orders Parker to rig a number of incinerator units, and Ripley volunteers to go into the air shafts after the creature, but Dallas says that he'll go instead. First, Dallas stops to ask Mother for ideas on how to defeat the alien and any calculations about their chances of survival, but Mother doesn't understand the questions. Then
course she
Dallas
doesn't.
makes his way through the air shaft. reporting
Man,
his
that
progress
air
to the group
shaft
as he moves.
sequence,
Ripley opens
that
the
was
hatch
the
for him and closes when
scariest
he's
part of the
already
movie
passed
for
through.
me.
Lambert follows
Because
the
when he
progress
turns
on
around,
the
all of a sudden
screen
the
and
alien's
reports
right
the
there
alien
and
is
just,
somewhere around the third junction.
you know?
Dallas shoots his flamethrower down a hatch to make sure that the way is clear and reaches the third junction, where he climbs down the ladder. Suddenly, Lambert tells him to stay still because she's lost the signal for the alien. Touching a nearby surface, Dallas finds strange slime, so he lights his flamethrower for extra light and sees nothing. At that moment, the alien reappears on the radar, moving directly towards him. Lambert warns him to get out of there, so Dallas begins climbing up quickly even though he can't see the alien. Then Lambert screams as Dallas
Yeah, right
enters
there.
another chamber and the light reveals the alien. The radar goes static and Dallas's location is lost. The crew members try to get in touch with him, but the line is silent. Then Parker places Dallas's flamethrower down in the cockpit, saying he found it in the air vent where Dallas was attacked. However, he didn't see Dallas or any blood. Crying, Lambert suggests that they take the shuttle and get away from the ship, but Ripley reminds her that the shuttle won't take 4 people. An argument ensues, so Ripley yells to calm everyone down and proposes a plan. They'll go in pairs and cut off every vent until the alien is cornered, then they'll blow it out into space. Afterward, Ripley goes to visit Mother to request enhancement, but Mother states that no further enhancement is available
Special Order
because it's for science officer
937.
eyes only. Ripley asks for more details and Mother reveals that Ash has programmed the ship to make returning the alien to Earth for analysis its main priority, meaning the crew is expendable. Ash appears next to Ripley and says there's an explanation, but a furious Ripley grabs him by the collar and pushes him to the ground. Then Ripley rushes out and tries to get in touch with the others, only for the door to suddenly close. Ripley tells Ash to open it as she heads toward another door, but Ash
She actually could have
closes
made
one
that
too.
door.
Suddenly a strange white fluid appears on Ash's head and his face twitches, so Ripley tries getting away. Ash grabs her by the hair and makes her fall as he rips out some strands. Then she tries to crawl away, but Ash grabs her by the jacket and throws her against the wall. Next he throws Ripley through a door and grabs a magazine to insert it in her mouth, intending to kill her.
Jeez.
As Ripley struggles against him, Parker and Lambert show up and attack Ash, who hurts Parker on the chest. After some more struggle, they manage to hit Ash with a fire extinguisher and he starts to malfunction pretty badly as white fluid shoots out of his neck.
Milk!
Parker hits him again with the extinguisher and Ash's head pops off. Wires and fluid come out of his body as it's confirmed he's actually an android, which the crew hadn't known. The headless body continues to attack Parker, but Lambert rushes behind him and stabs Ash's body to make him stop. Later the crew gathers to examine Ash's body and concludes the company must have wanted an alien for the weapons division. Parker plugs in Ash's head, which slowly reanimates as more white fluid pours out of his mouth. Ripley asks Ash about its special order and he explains that he must bring back the life form and that all other priorities have been rescinded. When Ripley asks Ash how to kill the alien, he says they can't because it's a perfect organism. After disconnecting the head, Ripley tells the others that they'll blow up the ship and take the shuttle. Before leaving the room, Parker incinerates Ash's remains with the flamethrower. Lambert and Parker go down to get coolant for the journey while Ripley goes to get the shuttle ready. While she works, she's surprised
Sigourney
to hear
Weaver's
Jones's news
awesome,
over the
man.
speaker, so she decides to go fetch him. As she searches the cockpit, she hears a rustling sound and worries for a second, only for Jones to jump out and make her scream. Ripley then grabs the cat and puts him in his
Get in
carrier.
there, Garfield.
Meanwhile, Lambert and Parker are gathering supplies when suddenly they notice the alien is in the room with them. The creature approaches Lambert and Parker tells her to move, which Ripley hears on the intercom. Lambert doesn't have room to move and the alien gets closer to her, so Parker tries to help her, but the creature uses its claws to capture him.
Ooh.
Then the alien catches Lambert with its tail while revealing its second mouth before killing them both. Ripley can hear their screams through the intercom, but by the time she gets there it's too late. When she sees the bodies, Ripley starts crying and runs away. In the emergency room, she initiates the self-destruct mechanism for the ship, then starts making her way back to the shuttle. Using the flamethrower for light, Ripley climbs down some stairs and finds a strange organic
the layout of
structure
that
adhering to the
ship.
walls and machinery. To her surprise, she finds
Oh.
Dallas stuck in there too, barely alive. There's also a shape which seems to be Brett. He seems to be dissolving and transforming into an object like the eggs from the beginning. Dallas very
this is
quickly
from the
begs for
book.
mercy, so Ripley burns them both with a flamethrower.
That must be a
Ripley jumps
deleted
out of
scene,
hatch
'cause I
and
never saw that
retrieves
in the
bonds
movie.
with Jones before
But
running
that was
down
in the
corridor
book, the
and entering shuttle.
novelization.
As the lights flicker, Ripley discovers that the alien is around the corner, so she carefully runs away, leaving Jones behind.
Man, the
While
claustrophobia
alien stares
of
at
the
cat and
hallway.
hits the box, Ripley runs back to the computer and tries to stop the detonation process, but it's too late. She tries ordering Mother to stop it instead, but it doesn't work either, so Ripley angrily hits the motherboard. Afterward, Ripley
Yeah,
rushes
screw
back
you,
to
mother.
the shuttle and finds Jones's carrier on the ground, but the cat is fine.
Good.
The alien is nowhere to be seen and fire is starting to take over the hallway she just came from. So Ripley makes her way to the
Alright.
shuttle cockpit and finally takes off,
Yay.
leaving the Nostromo right before it blows up in a huge explosion. Afterward, Ripley puts Jones in a sleeping pod and starts getting ready to go to sleep too. Suddenly a claw tries to grab her, and a screaming Ripley steps back to discover the alien has hidden in the shuttle to come with her. She runs to hide in the closet, where she starts putting on a spacesuit while watching the alien, which appears to be sleeping. Ripley also puts on a helmet and grabs a harpoon gun before coming out to strap herself to a chair. Then she presses some buttons to shoot steam at the alien, who begins to shriek and make its way towards her. At that moment, Ripley opens a hatch and the pressure sends the creature flying. The alien holds on to
Take
the
the
sides of the door to
harpoon!
stay, so Ripley shoots it with the harpoon gun to finish pushing it out. Now the alien is hanging off the door and tries to climb back into the ship through a thruster, but Ripley fires the engine and burns the alien, finally sending it out into the abyss. Safe at last, Ripley records a report of everything that happened, then she joins Jones in the sleeping pod. Make sure to subscribe and turn on
You imagine?
notifications so you
Oh
can
my
watch more
gosh.
videos like this. Thanks for watching.
In space, no one can hear you scream. Oh my gosh. Truly horrifying. Oh my gosh. Especially since I watched a video from Film Comics Explained, where he was discussing the movie and how the set was designed, where the ship has a bunch of narrow corridors and you have darkness and all you have is like flashing lights and sirens everywhere. like an extreme sense of claustrophobia, and you don't know what's behind every corner. And that air duct scene where the alien just pops out at Dallas, just be like, ah! Like, that was the scariest moment in the movie for me, you guys. But I noticed that one point in the video where he called the science officer Ash Kane, which it's like, no, Kane's the one who had the chest burster come out of him. So, but the other thing I wanted to remember to talk about was I actually saw someone had designed a face mask for COVID-19, but it was in the style of a face hugger. So it was like, you know, it didn't cover the whole face, but it had, so like the fingers were wrapped around the head, and then it, like, you know, covered the nose and mouth, and then they had like the tail that wrapped around the neck. Oh, so cool. And it actually worked too as a COVID mask, you know. They tested it and it was good enough to wear during COVID. But oh man, that's like an extreme level of creativity. And that deleted scene where Ripley finds Dallas glued to the wall, barely alive, and also Brett, who is like in the process of becoming part of the Thing. That's actually in the official movie novelization that I've read, where she finds that, you know, where the alien was probably prepping them not for food, but for reproduction. So I don't know if that xenomorph had the potential to become a queen or not, but definitely scary when it's just one xenomorph as opposed to a whole hive, you know, especially on a ship in the middle of space. Definitely. In space, no one can hear you scream. But yeah, I love watching films being recapped on YouTube. I've seen what was that one? Priest? Yeah, Priest. Paul Bettany, who had played the titular character. I saw one of those, and I saw others as well, like San Andreas, Hunger Games, and other movies recapped. So it's cool to react to one of them finally. But yeah, I love it, and I believe that they could make a really good Alien versus Predator movie if they really commit to it. The problem, I think, with the first Alien versus Predator was the characters weren't developed enough, and the story all seemed kind of rushed, you know? There wasn't time for, you know, like real in-depth storytelling or character development. Because see, I graduated from the U of M with a degree in theater arts, and my specialty is character development. And from watching that movie, only Lex and the Predator Scarface were the ones who had any character development. The rest of them just kind of seemed to be there, and we're not, you know, given enough details about them to care about them, you know? Whereas, you know, we're shown the entire crew of the Nostromo, and we come over time to care about them, or in Ash's case, we come to loathe them. But he was like the perfect villain. Ian Holm, is that the person who acted as Ash? Did a phenomenal job as the villain there. There are some things worse than xenomorphs. Corrupt corporations. No. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good recap, and could have been a little more informative. Could have included some more details, like it. Because I saw another video. It was by Film Comics Explained, when he was explaining the whole alien thing, where they go into depth on how each person is like a facet. Is that what it's called? A facet of human personality. You know, Lambert is all highly emotional and is susceptible to fear. Ash is cold and clinical. Dallas is the reluctant leader. Ripley is the person who understands that she's out of her depth but continues to plow on anyway, so she's the embodiment of courage. You know, they had all these, you know, and Kane, most of all, he was the one who represented curiosity. You know, curiosity killed the cat, but Jones lived. But yeah, so all of these characters in the first Alien movie, each one of them embodies a specific part of what it is to be human, like different facets. Again, I don't know if I'm using the right term, but different pieces of being a human, being a person. So it's really cool, and I loved the explanation for I saw a documentary where they were discussing, we got to get the alien back on the ship. How does the alien get back on the ship? We have to do it in a way that no one will realize until it's too late. And then finally, in the early hours of one morning, one person calls the other and it's like, dude, what if the alien screws one of them and impregnates them? And then, yeah, so, oh man. But yeah, that first Alien movie, cinematic masterpiece. And I have it. I actually have all the Alien movies and all the Predator movies, including the Hulu movie prequel Prey. So, yeah, and I have the AVP movies too. My movie shelf for DVDs and video games are right over there in the corner. So, yeah, I have the Alien 6-film collection, the Predator 4-film collection, the Prey movie, Alien vs. Predator, and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. But yeah, I gotta say, yeah, but the first Alien, cinematic masterpiece. Alright, you guys, well, that being said, I'm going to end this video here. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below how you think I'm doing, what other videos you want me to react to. Just remember, please keep the comments kind. Also, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos. Thanks again so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Roll the outro!